Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. Okay, as we plod along through the week, I got fun to do today. Car repairs. I wanted to start this morning just with a thank you to the folks over at Opus. You'll remember the contest we had Tuesday night, and 3 of the prizes came from Opus. They offered 3 generators. I heard from Chen this morning, who is our contact over there, and he apologized to me, saying that they had sold out of their 1800 watt generators, and one of our prizes was an 1800 watt generator. To give you an idea how well they help us, instead of saying, I'm sorry, we can't do it, our prize winner, who was Kim, they're sending her a 2400 watt generator instead. If that doesn't tell you something about a company, I don't know what does. Okay, just for the simple fact that they didn't say, oh well, or we'll get it to her when we can. They upgraded a prize to send to them. So, as I've said before, between EcoFlow and Opus, I think they are probably the 2 best generators out there. And the service and support that we get from those companies as a community, the prepping community, is exceptional. So to Chen and the folks at Opus, thank you for making it right and going above and beyond. Okay, I wanted to start with that one. Let me ask you this. We all know what is going on with China, Taiwan. I mean, we're going to leave Russia, Ukraine out of this right now, okay? We're just going to talk about China, Taiwan. But we all know what the Chinese goal is, okay? They want a new world order with China in charge of the world, no question. Okay? They're not WEF or anything like that. They don't want that sort of communist crap. They want all of us to bow to Xi Jinping like the Chinese subjects are required to do so, to worship him as God. What would you all say is the most likely dangerous weapon that we are all prepping for, afraid of, whatever? And most of us would probably say, and I would have until I found this information out, would be probably an EMP or a conventional nuclear strike, one of the 2. Yeah, well, they kind of added something to it that they have in development right now, and this is quite worrisome. China is developing high-technology weapons that are designed to disrupt brain functions, and that could be used to influence government leaders, entire populations, yada, yada, yada. Okay? And this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky story or whatever. This was exposed by 3 different people, all right? One, a gentleman by the name of Ryan Clark, who's a senior fellow at the East Asian Institute at the National University of Singapore. Zhaozhu Sean Lin, who's a former U.S. Army microbiologist who's now at Fighton College, okay, and L.J. Eads, who's a former Air Force intelligence officer and current specialist in artificial intelligence for the U.S. intelligence community. Okay, so this isn't some the moon is made of cheese type thing, right? What does this do? This just completely messes with your head, okay? The weapons basically can be used to directly attack or control somebody's brain using microwave or other directed energy weapons in handheld guns or larger weapons firing electromagnetic beams, okay? This is scary. I mean, it's called Neurostrike. And what is it? It's a military term that's defined as engineered targeting of the brain of military personnel or civilians using non-kinetic technology. The goal of it is to impair someone's thinking, reduce their situational awareness, inflict long-term neurological damage, and cloud somebody's normal cognitive functions. They are already planning on using this in the China-Taiwan conflict, okay, in the South China Sea, where, oh gee, we just happen to have naval personnel trying to protect Taiwan, and on the Sino-Indian border, okay, because obviously China and India have issues as well. Imagine this, that you and your AR or your AK are defending your property, and somebody off in the distance shoots some sort of electromagnetic pulse, okay, an EMP type thing, not up in the sky to disrupt the electric functions of your house, but shoot something that disrupts the electrical functions of your brain. Okay? This is what I'm saying. This is not Star Wars type fantasy. This is actually real, guys. And this is something that's quite concerning, because I have no clue, and I don't think even the U.S. intelligence community, U.S. military, has any clue how to disrupt something like that. I mean, put on your tinfoil hat. Maybe the tinfoil will reflect it. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't hear about. And when I went up digging through the depths of the internet to find some of this stuff out, this one wasn't actually too difficult to find, but it was something I've never heard about. I mean, this was actually reported out of the Washington Times, and I will read this to you, or I will link this for you below. But these are things that we need to be aware of, that our media, our mass media at least, will never tell us about. And in some respects, I understand a little bit why, okay? That, because if y'all can probably agree with me, if we knew everything that was going on in Washington, in Beijing, in Moscow, in London, in Berlin, wherever, okay, if we knew everything that was going on, we'd probably be living in a state of panic. And that's not the game plan, okay? You want to have a normal life as best we can. I mean, we have to deal with enough day-to-day stuff. I really don't need to know about all the covert operations that are going on amongst different governments together or against each other. But something like this, knowing what weaponry could be used against us, because, oh yeah, in this article they also said that one of China's plans is to use this against the United States. This is something we need to be made aware of, because if something happens where there are Chinese troops on U.S. territory, we need to be aware of what could possibly be used against us. I mean, conventional weapons, nuclear weapons, EMPs, whatever it would be. I mean, maybe we can't stop them. You and I have pretty much no ability whatsoever to stop most stuff that's coming toward us. But you can make preparations. I mean, we make preparations for EMPs with Faraday cages or something like that. We make preparations for a nuclear, conventional nuclear with, fallout shelters, bomb shelters. Even if we don't have one, we have a general idea of where we can go. Something like this is a little different. And I'd be very interested to hear from you guys, if anybody's even heard of this, if anybody has any sort of defensive mechanism or defensive plan that we can use against this, other than if something happens, anybody that's Chinese is gunned down in a heartbeat. This is how far China's going, guys. I mean, again, remember, the art of war, okay? China's game plan is the long game. They're not interested in immediately doing something. They don't want to destroy the land that is the United States. They want the United States, no question, okay? They want the land here. Just like China's trying to scoop up land all over the rest of the world that is fertile farmland or strategic military areas, or they want the U.S. land. They don't want to destroy it. They don't want to poison it. Okay? This is all part of China's plan to destroy the world or take over the world with, how do you want to put it, non-lethal type weaponry, or non-destructive type weaponry. I mean, whether they're doing it economically, whether they're doing it legally, get rid of the people, get rid of the politics, get rid of the freedom, but save the infrastructure. That's China's plan on how they want to take over, which is a smart way of doing things. Okay? You don't want to destroy everything. That does you no good. Then you have to rebuild it. But if China can neutralize the threat that is the U.S. military, and as the old saying goes, you never attack the United States because there's a gun behind every blade of grass. Remember that from World War II? Japanese. Okay. China thinks the same way, but if they can somehow eliminate the electronics via EMP and the electrical impulses in your brain via something like this, that's big concern. Something to be aware of, that it's out there, that it's being produced, okay, being developed. Okay? We're past the times of this is a idea. They are actively working on putting this together. They haven't got to the point where it's the scope in which they can use it on a grand scale yet, but supposedly they're already using this in Taiwan. Food for thought. See you soon. Pinball